everybody. Here I am once again with Moments with Jack. Jack Curtis, the Township Supervisor of Oxford. I'm Terry Stiles, and it's about time we catch up with him again. I'm sure a lot of you saw what he had to say at the Chamber breakfast. However, we're going to condense some of that and zero in or focus in on some of the things Jack wants to talk about and that I'm curious about. So thanks, Jack. Oh, today's eclipse day.
Exactly, Terry. So I do have my glasses, and these are vintage. These are from the August 2017 eclipse today, but I was rest assured they're still viable.
Yep.
And we can use them.
Oh, good. Well, I'm looking forward to that event today, too. And I was really regretting this morning that I didn't have my vintage 2017. So I'm glad you kept them. And
Yes,
I'm glad
I
you're
did.
going to be safe.
Yes.
A lot of people are choosing
Yeah,
that, too.
don't look at the sun.
So you had a lot to say at the Chamber breakfast, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping a lot of people saw our production of it, just so that they could be informed not only with what's going on in the township, but the county. Mike Spiz was there, Joe Medor was there from the village, and the DDA, the updates on what's going on downtown. What is it that you want to focus on, that you want to go into a little more detail?
A little more detail would be the township is very busy. You know, this is 2024, and quite frankly, we're still operating under the same millage that was voted in back in like 2000.
gosh,
It's 20-some years
ago.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only run it like 0.8842 mills to run the township.
That's amazing.
So with the growth in the township, we've been able to sustain the growth, but some of the things you'll see here today and I'll talk about will be dramatic. I like to call them dramatic. And we'll start off with like voting. There was just an election, and in Oxford Township, there are over 17,700 registered voters.
That's awesome.
Back in 2000, it was half that. So we have a big job, plus the monumental changes that they've made with early voting. Everybody's eligible for absentee. Then you have, I mean, it's a plethora of law changes that has put a demand on our clerk's department.
Redistricting and everything else, yeah.
But you can see the amount of people that have grown here in Oxford
Yeah.
just by the number of registered voters. You know, for 2024, the 2023 taxes were collected. The 2023 taxes that were collected, we had no delinquencies go to the county.
That's incredible, Jack.
The Treasurer's Department works closely with those that may be behind or may be lacking in their payment, and we try to keep those people in the community paying their taxes. Thing about the taxes, I'll give you a copy of this, Terry, but here's 100% of all your taxes you pay in Oxford Township.
A pie chart.
This
Yeah.
is the pie chart that
Yeah.
I talk about, the 2023 Charter Township of Oxford, the percent of distribution of non-homestead tax rates. If this chart is indicating 100% of what we pay in taxes, this chart is the piece where we've taken the pie out that actually runs the township.
Us, right.
Runs the township and stays here in the township. The Oxford Township Sheriff Millage, the Oxford Township Fire and ALS EMT, Oxford Park Township Park Debt, Oxford Library, Oxford Township Parks and Rec, and then our operating expenses here, which I mentioned earlier have not changed in 25 years.
Wow.
So with the growth in the community and the fiduciary responsibility of the previous administrations and this one, we've been able to keep that operating expense down. And it's tough with
Not
inflation.
easy. Yeah, the inflation, especially in just in the last 2 or 3 years,
Sure.
is certainly it has to be a strain on you guys
It
trying
is.
to
We
keep
have to
that
come up
budget
with
balanced.
where we're going to balance that money out.
Sure.
One of the big things this year is with the county. The county supplies us services in tax assessing. They supply us services for our 911 calls and dispatch.
Oh, right.
And in order to pay for those dispatch centers, they equate a cost out per call. then we take our average number of calls last year and they put a price down, which we have to budget for it. Well, those prices have gone up almost 24% from 2023 to 2024. We have our police contract, which will be coming up. We don't know where that is. Did I mention assessing? Oakland County Assessor does our assessing. All of these costs are going up, and it's exponential. So we're still battling to keep those prices and costs down. As far as increases,
Let me go back just a little bit.
Sure.
You were talking about the millages, and the millages have not changed in 20 years, but you also have that Headley rollback that you lose
yes, we
funding
do.
because of in those millages.
Exactly, and that's right in our.
So that's another expense.
Yeah, it
basically.
affects our fire and police the biggest, because if you budget a 4.5 millage, and in 2024 the millage is now 4.3. So the Headley rollback keeps whittling away at it. Our police millage went from almost 4 mils, it's down to 3.8 now.
Really? Wow.
So the Headley rollback of these taxes, we're not increasing that millage. It's just the fact that we're getting more homes. It pays us the millage to keep our services going, but it's time that we have to look at it due to the inflationary costs being
Sure.
passed on.
Right.
Yes.
That I wanted to bring that up because, gosh, we're really lucky that we haven't increased our millages in nearly 20 years, but people should probably think about having to expect that if you want to keep the same services that you have in the
Right.
community.
Every time you vote, the taxes look like they go up, but
Right.
it's just recapturing the Headley. The one that we have not recaptured on is our operating. That has not gone up in 20 years.
Oh, that's
And
good.
that's it's working hard to keep it there.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, it hasn't gone down either, right? It's just
Exactly.
kind of staying the same.
And, you know, some of the other costs, I don't want to be all negative today, Terry, but some of the other costs that we've just experienced is the Great Lakes Water Authority we're not on the water, but we are on their sewage.
Right.
So right at Oxford Township in Orion, there's a big pipe that takes all the sewage from Oxford all the way down to the Connor Street station in Detroit. Some of it is diverted to Pontiac, but a lot of it goes to Detroit. Some of those pipes down there are almost 70 years old. You have pump stations and pipes that need maintenance. Those maintenance costs are passed on to the user.
Sure.
And with the increase in just the last quarter of $33, that impacted our sewer user. The base bill went from $110 to $143. Now, we sent letters out, we did social media posts trying to tell everybody, look, this has nothing to do with any sewer line in Oxford. Our sewer lines are all 100% positive because we had a grant 2 years ago and they filmed and cameraed every sewer line to ensure the integrity of that line.
Right.
So none of that money is being spent in Oxford Township. It's from Oxford Township all the way to the Detroit River, Connor Street Station. So in the next few years, some of the anticipated costs are going to really rocket because, like I said, those pipes and pumps are upwards of 50 to 70 years old.
So did you have an actuary figure out how much you needed to increase here in order to make up for
Yes.
that? Okay.
Yes.
So it's not just an errant number that you pulled out of the
we're just not pulling a number
air.
out of the air. What happens, Terry, is the WRC, the Water Resources Commission, along with our engineer and our water sewer chair, go to the meetings and look at the maintenance of the total pipe from from the northern
30 miles.
port all the way down to the southern end and all inclusive. And they determined that we might have $200 million in repairs.
Wow.
We only pay 1%.
Right.
Oxford's flow rate is like 6 cubic feet, and we only use 3. We're only appropriated that amount to increase.
Okay, so
our
it's
sewer
based
bills.
on flow rate, not the size of the community, but
No.
that would then affect your flow rate.
It's all
of
based
course.
on what you send down the
Okay,
pipe.
right. Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's more to come on sewer increases,
Yeah, so keep an eye on
especially with EPA guidelines on
Oh, yeah.
venting of some of the sulfur, venting of some of the other stuff.
Right.
It's
Interesting.
increasing
Yeah.
steadily. Yes.
Okay, and you kind of touched on election season.
Election season is
So
upon
what's
us.
going
We
on
had
in
our-
the township with that?
Well, we had our first primary, and you had to either claim Republican or Democrat.
Right.
And of the 17,700 mailed out, I don't know what the total back in was. The clerk's department, all hands on deck, temporary help,
Yeah.
made it through. Now we have 2 more elections coming.
Yeah.
You have your August primary, and you have your November election.
Right.
Including all the offices here in the township.
Right.
My job
so
is up for election.
everybody's up for grabs,
Yep.
right?
Treasurer's position is up for election.
Wow.
The clerk.
Yeah.
And then the 4 trustees. We all have to either A, be reelected, B, decide we're not running again, or C, somebody comes in that thinks they can do a better job.
And challenge
Yeah.
your position. Is this a good time for me to ask you
Ask me what?
if you're going to run again?
I am going to run again. I
Okay.
filed my affidavit.
You heard it here.
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's a hard decision, but
Yeah.
a lot of things,
You want to see through.
yeah.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You've taken on a lot in the last 3 or 4 years, and
We
good
got
for you.
we got to get a few things done.
Yeah. Well, we're going to ask you about those too, but I want
Sure.
to hear more about what is important to you.
What's important to me is a lot of the local stuff that we've been having to overlook. One thing is the cemeteries.
Oh, yeah.
We are having, not we, the Historical Society is having a tour this fall. Well, a lot of the cemeteries haven't had some work. Well, you've had graves in there from back in the 1800s, and quite frankly, some of them are falling down.
Yeah, they are.
We're going to go in front of the board this Wednesday night and ask for about $90,000 to repair some of the walls that are falling down.
Yeah.
These graves are people's loved ones, and they've just
Entrusted
come
to the
upon-
township.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know the
Yeah.
laws state that if a tombstone is knocked over, we're not responsible for it.
Aw,
But
the family
you
is.
go out there and look, and some of the, who's going to find out how Captain Dinsmore or whoever it was,
Sure,
how are you going to stand this? So we're taking it upon ourselves to try to fix them up. Plus, over the years, erosion has knocked some of the walls down. So we're going to be taking care of that.
Wasn't there some work done on the stone crypt,
The
the
mausoleum.
north side of?
Yes, it
Okay,
was.
the mausoleum,
A few
right.
years back, they had to rebuild some of the walls and the hinges on the door.
Yeah.
They're 100 years old.
So are kids leaving it alone, or is there some mischief going on in there as well that you have
it's
to
really
repair?
not mischief.
It's just wear and tear.
Fortunately, we've got some young adults that act like adults, and we're not really seeing the mischief, if you
Okay.
will.
Yeah.
You know, we've got a sign that's going out at Mount Pleasant that's deteriorated, so
Oh,
we've got to
yeah.
fix that up. Last year we did some tree cutting because there were widowmakers, if you
Yeah,
will,
right.
the branches hanging, and we
Right.
took care of that. And then we planted 14 trees
Oh, okay.
in the front of the cemetery to
Of
try
the- of the
to
park
bring
on
some of
Burdick.
that back. Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
So we're going to be working on that, and hopefully it'll all be spruced up for the
Our
tour this fall.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
love doing that. I'm part of that.
You're
That's
part of
fun.
that, that's
and
right.
Jim Latola is the one that
Yes.
does all the script for it. So yay, I'm glad to hear they're going to do it again.
Super.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is we are right now doing the update to the master plan.
That's a
The
huge
master
one.
plan in townships is like, what does the community want to be? Okay, do you want to be a Rochester or do you want to be in Oxford? You're going to get some urban development, but do it correctly. You don't. We have sanctity areas like horse
The horse
country.
country, right.
We're not. That's always going to
Off the
remain
table.
equine.
Good,
Agricultural in our northwest side.
good.
So many of those homes were built on smaller parcels. It's not conducive for a developer to come in and buy up
Sure.
200-300
5
acre tracts
houses.
of land.
Yeah.
I remember I was a young kid, we moved from Detroit out to Warren. And
Wow.
Mr. Rinke was plowing his field for the last time.
Oh,
And we
my
watched the tractor
goodness.
turn the dirt over, and he's out there running his tractor.
Wow.
5 years later, there were 500 homes built in there. I don't think you're going to get that here in Oxford because those tracts of land are not available. Sure, you have a couple golf courses, possibly one there, but you're not going to have the 5,
Camp
6,
Oaklands.
or the 1,000 parcel homes developments here.
Like Warren.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So the master plan, they did survey the people. They had an open house. We got a lot of data. We're going to try to continually to grow properly based on the input into the master plan and do some identified infrastructure improvements for the integrity, water, sewer, those kind of things.
Excellent, excellent, excellent example of if the community's involved, they have a say in what they're going to get. And you guys were really good at promoting that and advertising that.
Yep, CJ has been monumental in getting it out, actually hand walking the surveys to many of the apartments,
Very good.
to the Legacy Center, anywhere people gathered. We went to restaurants and passed them
Beautiful,
out.
yeah.
And he did it many times in our social media posts. So hopefully we got
Very
some
good.
good input.
Yeah.
We will be starting to see some of the formulations of that master plan coming out soon.
Okay, that's my next question. When does that begin to, when do people begin to notice?
The culmination of the master plan should be late October, November, December, where it's finalized. Remember, it has to go to our surrounding communities for them to have input in it, and that it gives them up to 90 days. So,
And does it go to all those communities at the same time, or is
yes,
it?
yeah,
Okay.
it goes to them all.
You don't
at
wait
the
for
same
one
time.
feedback and then another one. Okay,
No,
that's good to
no,
know.
It does that way. The fire department, they're continuing to evaluate all their assets. Their capital improvement plan for 2024, I think on the board tonight, they have an opportunity. Let me back up a little bit. COVID, all of the shortages and supplies, and the inflationary rates of all of the equipment used by everybody's fire department has almost doubled. A fire truck that cost $400,000 now costs $600 to $800. An ambulance that was $245 is now $445.
Wow.
And I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. So Chief's been working, building a plan. It's trying to figure out the cost of all this stuff to move it into purchasing the equipment to service our residents.
Just the administrative time in looking at what needs to be rotated in and out and how long they've had. It's amazing what they do, and they make it look so easy.
Well,
it's not easy. It's not an easy task.
it is not an easy task. You know, experience, training, and education
Right.
is monumental. I could not. First off, I'm not going to run into a burning building.
Oh no.
So
First you have
firemen
to
in
put that
itself,
thing on.
they've got
Yeah.
But secondly, they are taught. In fact, Chief Majestic has taught the classes. So
Wow.
going through all this capital outlay and doing a plan to replace, it does take a lot of training and a lot of knowledge to get it there. A lot of hard hours with Lindsay and Chief Matt and Assistant Chief Randy. They work diligently. I know even Captain Snell has been monumental in educating how we get our money back from insurance companies, and he's increased that amount.
yeah.
So both the intake and the output are balanced, and hopefully we can provide the right equipment and make it last. Yep. Our sheriff
Beautiful.
department downstairs, we have added a patrol sergeant,
Yeah.
Sergeant Doherty. He is on, and we have 2 additional deputies that will be coming out here once they fill the spots. Another hard job to find is deputies.
Sure is. Right now. Yeah.
Police and sheriff are having a real hard time finding competent, energetic young people to join the force. Let's face it, it's not a glamorous job sometimes.
For a lot of money. I will say, though, out loud, we do appreciate them out here.
Oh, I do.
We really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys. So what precipitated the increase in staff?
The number of people, the FBI, the state police, and SEMCOG all have ratios of what you should have per capita. And I believe it's 1 deputy for every 1,500 people.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, well, you're looking at 20,000 people here in Oxford
Yeah,
now.
so we're at a deficit.
So those deputies
so.
are getting up there.
Yeah.
Plus we have 2 school resource officers. And then when you get all these people going, we have 2 detectives. And then the span of control with command becomes to where they have to do definitive reports so that prosecutors can take that
Sure.
and prosecute the
Right,
crimes.
right.
While our closure rate is one of the highest, it's over 76%, Oxford Township is, of all the communities the Oakland County Sheriff handles, we have probably some of the best. Our deputies are well respected, are vetted perfectly for our community, and I tell you what, if you don't like them, that's probably because you were doing something wrong.
Well, I wanted to establish that it was a ratio thing
Yes.
and not a crime thing.
No.
Because I don't want people to think, oh gosh, we need more because more stuff is going on here.
It's not the crime that's reactive. What we are being is proactive.
Yeah, very good.
Proactive policing is by having the extra patrols to go through our businesses in the outline.
Sure.
Proactive is visiting the farm countries. If you look
Yeah.
out the back window, our sheriff's cars aren't always the cleanest because
Yeah,
we do
they're out
have
there.
40 miles of gravel road.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, 40
Yes,
miles
let's
of gravel
talk about
road
that.
do need some attention.
Yeah, they do.
We have a great foreman. Road Commission of Oakland County treats Oxford very well. Believe it or not, our gravel roads get probably some of the best attention you're going to get.
I believe it.
The money that's generated through the gas tax that's dispersed to Oakland County to be used in the communities based on traffic volume, based on the type of roads, based on thoroughfare, based on gravel. We're going to spend $350,000 in 2024 adding gravel to roads.
Is that township money, or is that money coming from the county, or a match?
3 of the above.
All of the above.
Yes, sales
Okay.
tax, gas tax, the county, the state,
Oh,
and
okay. 3 of the
a
above.
little bit from the township.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Good.
And if you live on a gravel road and you're trying to drive to work going 70,
It's going to be bad no matter what.
It's going to be bad no matter
Yeah.
what. But at least we're applying Band-Aids, if you will. We are doing some corrective surgery, if you will. Just this past winter, Shipman Road was identified as a road that definitely needs some attention. So we've been working on that all fall and winter. Now the spring's coming, so we're going to be doing the gravel of that road.
Okay, so it's been fixed to the extent that you can.
Yes.
Right now. That's great. And I have to say, because of what I do, what we do for a living, we are on those gravel roads.
Yes.
And I'm on the gravel roads in Lake Orion. I hate to compare, but I remember calling you last fall wanting to compliment the good job that Oxford has done at keeping an eye on the gravel roads. They're not easy to traverse no matter what.
No,
But wow, ours are a lot better than
there is
some
so
areas.
much that impacts a gravel road. The amount of traffic, the speed, the understructure of the
Rain.
road. Some of these roads were put in 1840.
Yeah, you can
They
tell
were
by how
wagon
deep
trains,
they
right?
are. Yeah.
Exactly. So, to bring them up to standards, you'd have to dig 6 feet down and
Yeah.
put
Gravel,
1x3
yeah.
stone down and then
Yeah,
put
yeah, yeah, yeah.
gravel. And, everybody's moving out here and they,
Yeah.
oh, where's our paved roads? No, they're not going to be
You want a
paved.
special assessment district? Go ahead.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's tough.
Yeah.
It's a hard balance to
It
get that
is.
in there. One of the big things, I haven't got the dates yet, but Tough Mudder is coming back,
Oh, okay.
and along with our Seymour Lake celebration.
Very
The
good.
Seymour celebration is June 6th through June 9th.
Oh, okay.
A little plug in there
Glad
for
to
Phil.
know the date.
Yeah, and
Good.
there are business opportunities for the chamber and local businesses if they want to do some support, advertising, and show up out there.
Nice.
They're more than welcome to.
And they should contact Phil Castoni
Yes.
at Parks and Rec.
Call the general number. Everybody up there is well knowledgeable and trained.
Yep, 1720. 628
Yes,
1720.
1720, exactly.
So also while we're on that subject, we have a new manager for the farm market.
Yep.
I had a conversation with her the other day, and the plans that she's got going, you guys want to be out there, I'm telling you. It's just, she is a spitfire, and
Yes.
she's going for it. So that's
Melissa
a bonus
has
for us.
always been a spitfire,
Yep.
and
She's
her
so
new baby
involved.
doesn't hold her down. She's
Nope.
got that baby
Carries her
right
with
there
her.
with her, and let's
Yeah.
go and charge.
Yeah.
And that's great for our community because year 1, year 2, it's just going to be better and better every day. And
Yep.
it's not on the same days as the farmers market or the markets in the
Right.
village. So, everybody has an
competition.
opportunity to hit each one if
Yeah,
you can.
yeah, and I think she's still looking. Well, I'm just going to plug that, looking for vendors, but she doesn't want to duplicate vendors, which is really
Right.
smart on her part. So
Yeah.
that was a fun conversation. It's fun that we're able to talk about it.
Yeah,
now.
it is fun because a lot of this stuff is positive. That's what we're trying
yeah.
to do. Our social media page is all positive.
Yeah.
We don't take negative comments. You know what? If you want negative comments, come and see me.
another
You know,
page.
hey, come and see me. We can go through all of it with facts and data, but the emotional part of it
Yeah.
on social media
go.
can be overbearing. CJ, our grants and communications manager, does a great job of that. And speaking of the park, have you been out and seen the new children's park that
Yeah.
was grant funds
Yeah.
and local donations put
Yeah,
into
it's so
that?
nice
It
for
is. It's beautiful.
kids with challenges. It provides a place for them as well. Yeah.
Not to mention our pocket park right here in front
Yep.
of the park. One addition we're fighting to get and working out all the logistics is a water fountain.
Yeah.
We're going to have a drinking fountain, a bottle fill station, and a pet
Fabulous.
dish, if you
Yeah,
will, for
right,
drinking.
sure.
So
Fabulous.
we're always trying to do things for the community. You're going to see some safety path proposals that make the community more walkable. You're going to see safety paths put in after a sewer line goes in. I mean, we just have a lot of positive things going on in the community for
And
the
let me
residents.
say, our tax dollars don't go towards the safety paths.
Right.
That's always provided, or funding's provided by a development or
It's provided by the
business.
developer, the business, or grant monies.
yeah, right, that too.
Yeah.
So speaking of development, where do you stand with the septic, the sewers going up 24?
Oh, that should begin May, in the May time frame.
Okay, good.
The last of the permits are all approved. Pipe should start showing up shortly. It should not hinder traffic. Maybe the entrance and exit to Meyer, there, currently there's 4 entrances there. So they might
right.
shut one down by saw cutting the asphalt, putting the pipe in, it'll be opened up that day.
Yeah, okay.
Then maybe 2 days later, the next entrance will be closed for 4 hours. It'll be opened back up the next day. Underneath Ray Road, they're going to bore it. Underneath Market Street, they're going to bore it, eventually ending the sewer line at the Dunlap and M24. That's the opening of the Brad Dewey sub,
Yeah.
right, just north of the Stony Lake Park.
Yes. Uh-huh. Okay.
So-
That'll be the end of it.
Right there, yeah.
Okay. Good.
Oh, we'd love to see grants to get some of the industrial properties to the
Yeah,
north Seward. I know that they're out of land, if you will, because you have to have so many feet for a septic
Right.
field, so many feet for well separation zones,
Right,
so
right,
many
right,
feet.
yeah.
So the industry up there is growing, and it's not smokestack industry. We have a new business
Technology,
venture coming, and it's all 3D printing
Yeah.
of highly precision
Fabulous.
aircraft parts.
Fabulous.
So, we're not bringing in tire remanufacturers. We're bringing in jobs that pay $30, $40, $50 an
Engineering.
hour, engineering jobs.
Yeah, great.
So, you know what? We need to try to make that happen for us because, again, if there's no industry,
Right.
we as residents are paying all the taxes.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, so Lake Orion's got that good mix of the industry
Correct.
and
Yep. That-
resident.
We are
small
80%
business.
residential tax base.
Wow,
So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
80% of our taxes are collected from residents.
Wow.
We're a bedroom community.
Yeah.
Part of that was by design. Part of that was lack of planning to get a sewer out there
Yeah.
and potable water. So you end up paying all those taxes for whatever millage is voted in.
Yeah, right. So we'll look down in the future
Yes.
to renegotiate millages. So anything new, any new businesses coming in besides that one, like in the downtown area, anything going on there?
Our building department last year did over 1,700 building permits.
Holy cow.
That's not all houses. That's remodeling to building. Some of the old buildings are being bought up and cleaned up and fixed up. But right now, I deal with what if we come?
Yeah.
Until they have a blueprint at the planning commission or at the building department, I usually
you're
don't
not
talk
there.
about them because they can go away real quick.
Just let me say, no White Castle.
No, there's never going to be. I want to say that in every listener's eyes, ears, that if you're 6 years old listening to this, you're never going to have a
see
White
one.
Castle in Oxford. That's about people wanting these businesses. White
Easy
Castle,
for them to say, right?
White Castle demands like 100,000 population within like 2 miles of an area. Yeah, no, you're not going to
yet.
get that. Vincent Joe's, they know that they don't have the population to fill it up.
Or Trader Joe's.
You don't have a hotel here.
I know.
But you have a convention center with no hotel. What is their efficiency rate? They can't hold weddings here
No.
because their people are having to stay somewhere else.
Right.
So all of this plays into, you can humorously talk about White Castle. You're never going to get
It's
one.
not happening.
You're not going to get a Vincent Joe's. It's just some of these things that people want, you're going to have to go there and get it. It's not coming here.
Right. Well, on a brighter note, it's springtime, and Jack and I did not.
Hey, we didn't plan
We
this.
didn't
but
plan. We didn't
we
get
are-
the memo to each
we
other.
are right on color today.
It's very springy, and
Yes.
it's been beautiful. And people, I love right now. I'm seeing people out on the trails everywhere. So I want to say people need to be careful.
Yes.
Right. And those poor little critters that I'm seeing out there on the road. Everybody needs to be careful when you're driving, please.
Yes.
But yeah.
At pedestrian crossings, if there's somebody in a crossing, you must stop. And no light is going to make a car
Right.
stop except a red light at an intersection.
I agree.
And people need to be aware. You just don't walk out in front of cars. Yeah. I was 6 years old and they said, stop, look both ways
And
before
listen.
you cross.
Yeah.
Man, people just ignore driveways and streets.
Yeah.
And I'm very cautious because I ride a bike. And when I come up to an intersection, car weighs 4,000 pounds.
And you
bike
don't.
and rider weighs 300. Crash. No. So
Yeah,
have
you
to
know
be
who's going to
careful.
win that one.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's been a debate, speaking of that, in front of Frosty Boy, that light there, that the people walking on that trail or riding their bike, they hit that button, the yellow light flashes. What does yellow light mean? Caution. It does not mean stop. So
Correct.
some people stop, some people don't. It's very confusing. I think they should take that light down. I really do.
And opinions are always justified by facts. Did you know that 80% of the people that touch a button and jump out into traffic are more likely to be in a crash?
I believe that.
Those lights give people, proven by the state police, proven by SEMCOG, that those lights give a false sense of security.
Sure, right.
I don't have to stop only if somebody is stepped
In the
into
middle.
the intersection.
Absolutely.
And if they're in it, you must stop. If those flashing lights, that's just
It means caution only.
caution. Yeah.
That's what yellow means, and we learned that when we were 6 years old. I've
Yeah.
had this debate and this argument since they came up with those caution lights back in early 2000. And it's a shame, because somebody's going to get hurt one day. But
People have ridden their bikes literally
Right out
into the side of cars.
oh gosh,
Ask Chief Solwall, go back in the day. I witnessed it. A truck was going through, and a bike rider saw the flashing lights and drove right into the
go.
side of a vehicle. Oh, wait a
that's
minute.
not funny, but oh my gosh.
No, it's not funny, and it was not. I mean, that was blatantly wrong.
Yeah, it is.
And it's
So be
people
careful.
just get a false sense of security.
Yeah. Be careful on those
Yep.
trails. No matter where you're at on those trails, that East Street or whatever that street is by the fire department.
West.
Coming off that bridge. That's
Oh,
another place
yes.
that's really scary. And Gillespie at that stop sign. Yes, there's a stop sign there, but I think the bikers should stop too, or the people.
Everybody should stop,
Yeah.
look
Just be
before
more careful.
proceeding.
Right.
Exactly.
And be nice to the trail. Linda works very hard.
I laugh about if it wasn't for Linda Moran working on that trail,
Oh gosh.
half of what's done out there wouldn't be done.
They hired the right person.
Yeah, she does work very hard on that trail.
She sure does. Yeah.
Yep.
So get out there.
Enjoy the
Enjoy the
paths,
trails.
enjoy the trails, enjoy the parks, and enjoy your
And
life.
Come and see this pocket park. There's more in the works too.
Oh
right?
yes, there are,
Okay.
and it's beautiful to see.
Right in
people
front
out
of
there.
Oxford Township building, Pocket Park. It's really cool. Jack, once again, it's so informative, and I love coming here to talk to you.
Anytime.
I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Terry.
Yeah, take care. Happy spring.
Happy spring.